Ladies and gentlemen, we've all been there. We all wanted to create a stealth game where we can hide from our enemies and they can spot us if they see like our right or left arm. But writing our own logic? We don't do that here. So let's see if we can spot something in the Unity Asset Store. God, I hate myself for that. So it's the same spiel as every time. Go to Unity Asset Store, search for the Sensor ToolKit, and there you go. This asset costs around 17 euros or like 20 bucks. So it's actually a fairly cheap asset for what it can do. But what is the Sensor ToolKit? The Sensor ToolKit is basically the pair of eyes for your enemy or for your character. This asset is basically plug and play. Just put the pair of eyes on your enemy or your character and you're able to see stuff. Pretty easy, pretty fairly, pretty good. But this tool provides so much more. This tool also includes a walking rig for your enemies, so the enemies can adjust their path if something is in their way. And all those features are pretty neat. But let's get back to business. The Sensor ToolKit offers a wide variety of different spotting mechanisms for your characters. First of all, we have the ray sensor, then we have the ranged sensor, and then we have a trigger sensor. All those three components are basically the eyes for your enemy or for your character. And all three of them are pretty easy to set up and to use. But are there any downsides? Yes, of course there are downsides as well. While the basics are pretty easy to set up, everything else after that gets kinda messy. If you have more than one enemy type or multiple colliders and stuff, you have to adjust your physics matrix. And while the physics matrix is pretty easy to adjust, also, of course, the documentation is good, it's not the best, it's better than the last one, but I kinda miss the scripting API stuff, how to use the script or built-in systems. You need to figure them out by yourself, which is also fine, but it could be easier. But how do you use the Sensor ToolKit? Create a character that has eyes, add a box collider to the eyes, add a mesh collider to the eyes, set the mesh collider convex and trigger, add the FOV collider script, add the trigger sensor script, add another mesh collider. Apparently I'm that stupid I added the second mesh collider. Ignore the second one. And also add a rigid body. And you're basically done, that's everything. Now you can play around with the settings, set an LOS, so line of sight system, and everything else you want. The view range, the target distance, and everything your heart desires. After you buy this asset, you're basically ready to go. Also, all the included scenes or test scenes are pretty good, so you can see what he did or what you can do with this system. But this time you need to know a bit about coding so you can actually use this asset in the full extent. But now let's start with the rating system. The first point is complexity or easy to use. The asset is fairly complex, but at the same point it's pretty easy to use. You can do a lot with it without knowing hardcore coding styles or anything else. But if you know some hardcore coding stuff or you're into coding in general, then this asset is also for you. You can dive into the scripts and have fun with them as much as you like. So out of 10 nuts, I would give it a solid 8 nuts. Up to the next point, Timesaver. This asset is definitely a time saver. Setting up the eyes for your enemies or the cameras is pretty easy, and it goes so fast if you have a basic understanding of how the system works. So after 2 or 3 pairs of eyes you adjusted, you can do this in no time. Out of 10 nuts, I would give it a solid 9 nuts, which is pretty good, to be honest. And also, to be fair, I really hate to set up eyes or line of sight system. Next point, value for money, or how much bang do you get for your buck? To be honest, 17 euros or 20 bucks is actually a pretty fair price for the system, especially if you think about of all the stuff that's included. I saw assets that offer less than this one for like 100 or 80 euros, which is absolutely insane to think about. This asset offers all the variety and most of the time everything you need for like 17 euros or 20 bucks. I give this for the price point 10 out of 10 nuts, because this price point is actually so fair. This is a pretty good price. Next point, documentation and support. You know what, I'm actually feeling this one. This asset has a good documentation for all the systems that are included. All the different line of sight features, the viewports and stuff, everything is documented and very, very good in my eyes. The only thing that's missing is the scripting API part. So out of 10 nuts, for me, that's maybe a 9. Yeah, 9 sounds fair for this one. Hot dang, this asset gets a total of 36 nuts. That's insane. But also this asset is pretty good. Would I recommend it? Definitely. Go for it. Holy hell, if you want to create a stealth game or basically any game where enemies or your character needs a view range, go for it. Damn, for 17 bucks there's nothing you can do wrong with it. This asset is really good, and it's the right amount of complexity and easy to use. So yeah, well, it could be better in some points, but most of the things are so good in this asset. Anyways, what do you think about this asset? Do you have another asset that actually has like a view system in it like this one? Maybe write it down in the comments. Also, if you like this asset review, give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe if you want to see more assets. Until then, thanks for watching. Bye!